Oh no, you idiot.
In the name of love, pour some sugar on the stage fell.
Hey guys, welcome to Jasco Goods. In today's video, I'm gonna show you guys how to take little scrap pieces of 2x4 like this, no bigger than this, and turn it into some kids projects that you could sell for $30. And I know what you're thinking, what am I gonna do with $30? That's like the price at McDonald's nowadays. Well, you sell more than one of them, now you got a McDonald's date night, and you can even let her supersize. You might just get McLucky. Enough talking, let's get to building. Before we jump into those little scrap wood projects, I wanted to show you this doll shelf. The doll shelf costs less than $5 to build, and these are selling for $50+, especially if you personalize it. For our first project, you need about 6 foot of a 1x4. Then you're gonna cut 2 pieces at 2 foot and 2 more pieces at 1 foot. So this is basically gonna go together like this. You're gonna have your 2 foot 1x4 down there. You're gonna put your two 12 footers on the side, and then this other 2 footer is gonna sit in between these like this. And then it's gonna have a dowel that goes across the front, and that's gonna hold all the dolls in. But I wanna make the sides a little bit more decorative. So to make them more decorative, you can cut them at a 45, at least a 45 on your miter saw or whoever saw you use. I would do it more than that. My miter saw will go up to 55, so I would do it a little bit more than a 45, so you have more of a slant. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna trace a circle using this magnetic Harbor Freight bowl, and then I'm gonna use my new bandsaw. I just got this from Lowe's because I'm a Lowe's partner. I'll tell you guys more about it later. And I'm gonna cut it out with this, and then I'm gonna clean it up on my sander. Then I'm gonna sand all the rest of the pieces with my orbital sander using 150 grit. Much easier now than when it's all assembled. I'm not sponsored by Walmart, but I'm dressed like I am. And they got a wood section. And in their wood section, they got a bunch of different size dowels. And then look, if you look down here, they got all these long ones. And that's where I got the dowel that I use for mine. And if you do go to Walmart for your dowel or anything in general, please don't do this right here, what people do at Walmart all the time. Block the whole aisle with your cart while you're looking at stuff, because I will crop dust you. Okay, so these are the different size dowels that they have at Walmart. You see how bowed this one is already? Be careful when you pick them out. Make sure you don't get a bowed one. I don't know if you can see that. It's really bowed. So I'm going to use this 1/2 inch one. It's the one with the white on the end. I think that would be the perfect size for this. If you guys don't want to use a dowel, you can always use a 1x2, something like this on the front. I don't think it would be bad looking. Or if you don't want to use a 1x2, you can always cut a 1x2 in half on your table saw. Make yourself a square dowel like this. Put that on there. I think that looks pretty decent too. So there's a couple options for you. Let me know what you guys do in the comments. So I'm gonna drill the dowel hole before I put this together, and I'm gonna come up 8 inches from the bottom, and then I'm gonna go in, I'm gonna say 5/8. I was gonna do a 1/2 inch, but that was just too close to the edge for my taste. I'm gonna use the brad tip bit over the Forstner because the brad tip bit made a slightly smaller hole and it fit my dowel better. Okay, maybe that wasn't a good decision because the Forstner bit made a much cleaner hole. The brad tip bit made a cleaner hole in my test run, but in the actual project, it kind of blew out. Oh yeah, this Forstner bit, much cleaner hole. Should have did this to begin with. Normally I would use nails and wood glue to assemble this thing, but this is going to be for kids. You know how destructive them little demon spawns can be sometimes. So I'm going to give this dowel jig kit another try and see how this works out. Spoiler alert, it doesn't work out too good for me. But you know what channel you're watching, so that's not really a spoiler. Now in hindsight, this dowel jig just complicated things way more than they needed to be. I could have just used a pocket hole jig and it would have been just as good. I could have put the screws on the back and in the bottom and nobody would have seen them. Or at the very least, I could have just done exposed dowels because I'm painting this thing anyways. I don't know if you guys can notice this on the camera, but this bit is bent. So it was wobbling the crap out of the whole jig when I was trying to drill the holes. And the collar slipped and I ended up drilling this one all the way through. So not a big deal, I'm painting this. So now I'm just gonna use a standard drill bit for the rest of these. I just have the horizontal boards left to do. Here's me trying to figure out which way I need to turn this thing. I look like one of those new cashiers when you hand them real cash and they gotta give you change. Oh no, you idiot. Oh, you idiot. I just drilled another hole through my board. I cannot use dowels. I am too stupid for dowels. It's only partially the jig's fault because the jig is in metric, so it's impossible to get it in the center of a 3/4 inch board because it works off of grooves. So to make a long story short, I had to oval out the 2 regular dowels that I first drilled, so I added a 3rd dowel in there just to keep it centered. And then when I went back to drill the hole for the 3rd dowel in the other board, I didn't adjust my stop collar, so I went all the way through. But
Later! Bottom line, I just need to get an American-made dowel jig and stop torturing myself with this thing. I love how my videos are entitled Easy Woodworking Projects for Beginners. Then I have 5 meltdowns while I'm doing the projects, and I have to call the mental health hotline. But you guys keep coming back for this, so I must be doing something right. So I let my glue dry overnight, and then I came back and I cut off the dowels that I used to fill the mistake holes. And then I used some wood putty because I had some blowout too on this one, if you can see. After the putty dried, I just hit it with some 150 grit with my orbital sander, and it was good as new. I masked, whatever, however you say that. I did the dowel, I covered it before I painted it, because a lot of people, they do the dowels a different color than the body of the shelf itself. So that's what I was planning on doing, because I'm a follower. I just want to do what all the cool woodworkers are doing. I'm going to use this keyhole slot router bit to make keyholes on this to hang it on the wall. It actually makes this shape into the wood, so you don't need these. If you don't have this, you can use one of these, or you can use a round one. I'm just going to use this. Whenever the project is big enough, and this is 24 inches wide, I try to make my hooks 16 inches apart, whatever I'm going to use to hang it to the wall. So that way I have a better chance of hitting studs in the wall. And I made this jig. If you don't have a router table, I made this. It's just a simple jig. You can just pretty much see how it's made. And it's so I could put these in 1x4s. I just line up the thing on my line and clamp it down. So that way my router doesn't move or anything when I'm making the keyhole slot. Dag nabbit, I got overspray on my safety glasses. I gotta go try to clean this off. It seems to be coming off. I'm excited to hang this thing on the wall and see how it came out. Okay, for this 16-inch method, all I gotta do is find a stud, put in a screw, measure over 16 inches, make a mark, check it, make sure I'm in the stud, because sometimes they're 24 inches on center, but that's where my mark is. I don't know if you can see that. I'm gonna come over this way. Boom, I'm in I must be on a king stud or something, or a 4x4. Now I know where the screw's going. I gotta make sure it's level. That should be perfect right there. Put my screw in and cross my fingers. I know most of you are expecting this not to work. Probably got your wives in the room. Look at this, babe. Watch this idiot. He always messes everything up. Watch this, babe. Bam! I have to admit, I was nervous. Now I'm a grown man, so I don't have any toys to show you how they look in here, but I got something else. I got these manly action figures. They're not toys, but you get the idea. You can also hang this on the kids' wall and store books. Or you can hang it in your bathroom and store your favorite books, like I might do with this one. A lot of the ones I see of these made are made for girls because they fit Barbies perfectly. The measurements on this, a Barbie is 11.5 inches. These just happen to be 12 inches, so they're just a ½ inch bigger than a Barbie. So they fit Barbies perfectly. And they'll paint this bar pink, and then they'll put pink letters on the back or something like that. Like it'll say Princess or Barbie, or maybe something more personal like the reason I'm broke, how I lost my hair, you know, something like that. So these things are selling from $50 all the way up to $80 some online, depending on whether they're personalized or not. So that's pretty good for the amount of work that it took. I thought of another project I could do, sticking to the same Barbie theme with the long dowels. Pour some sugar on me when you need my love. But my wife said, don't be an idiot. Put a hump in your back and shake your rump. So I scratched the idea. All right, guys, it's almost time for the part of the video you've been waiting for. I'm gonna show you how to turn one of these scrap pieces of wood into $30. But before that, let me share some good news with you. Remember the world's slowest bandsaw that I have? I finally get to get rid of it. And I got to upgrade it for this beautiful piece of machinery right here. Isn't she beautiful? Lowe's made me a Lowe's affiliate, so what that means is sometimes they'll send me tools, and I can use those tools in my videos so you guys can see if you like them or not. And I know what you're thinking. How did an idiot like you get to be a Lowe's affiliate? And that I can't answer. For some reason they think I'm special. They even said it in their email. Dear Jasco, it's great to see someone special like you who's able to use tools by themselves. I don't know what that part means. We would like you to be an affiliate for us. Please have your guardian, I don't know, who's my guardian? Contact us. Thanks, Lowe's. Oh wait, there's more. Psst. Oh no. P.S. We would like to send you one of our Lowe's special helmets. Oh wow, that's nice. I wonder if it's like a hard hat.
So I'm gonna use my girl Grizzy over here to turn these scraps of wood into something I can sell.
The first thing you gotta do is just sketch a little animal onto here. Now, if you can't draw very good, that's okay, because you can use stencils. There's a ton of free stencils on the internet. Does that look like a dinosaur? Then we're gonna drill some holes in the top, and we gotta figure out how deep we want them. We want them about this deep. And we're gonna stop about here and about here. Oh, look at that, it's already set, perfect. I swear I did not set this for this. I don't know what I used this for last, but anyways, that's perfect. I'm gonna use a 3/8 inch bit, and I'm gonna drill the holes. I'm gonna use a stop collar. You could use a piece of tape if you don't have one of these. And then we're gonna lay out 2 rows of holes. We're gonna try to fit as many as we can. So my first row is gonna go about here. And then let's see, my last row is gonna go about here. And then I'm gonna do 2 rows of each. So we're gonna split this. So I'm gonna come in about 3/8, make a line, come in from this side 3/8, 1, 2, 3, make a line. Now I'm just making this stuff up as I go. You may find a better way to do this. Okay, so there we go. And now these don't have to be perfect. As you can see, mine are not perfect. I'm gonna do this just to try to stay on the line. I'm gonna start these off with this drill block just so I can get them going straight. Okay, so there you go. Now I'm gonna drill a hole for the eye real quick. So this bandsaw is a beast compared to my old one. One of the reasons I chose it is because the specs were great for the price range that it fell into. Like, it's got a 3.5 amp motor, and the next bandsaw up from this is $200 more, and it's got the same motor, the 3.5 amp. Now this Grizzly saw also has a cut capacity of 6 1/8 inch, which is pretty good, a resaw capacity. The other one only had a 4-inch resaw capacity, so I don't understand why it was $200 more. The only difference was the other saw had a much bigger table. To me, that's not worth $200 more. So now I'm just gonna clean this guy up on my turd polisher, and he's just about done. Well, what do you think? I can already tell you, I messed up on my drilling pattern. They were way too close, and I didn't go deep enough. But hey, it's for kids. You ever see the crap they draw and they want you to hang it on the fridge? They'll live with it. So these things are actually really fun and really quick to make. I have a ton of scrap wood, so I just made another one real quick with a better hole pattern. A lot of people always ask me when I use these little finger sanders where I got them from. You can get one at Walmart, but it doesn't come with very many refills. This one came with a ton of refills. I got it off of Amazon, and I'll put a link to it in the description. They work great for doing little projects like this.
So what these are for is for crayons, right? The kids put their crayons in there. Crayons usually come in a pack of 8, is their smallest pack, I believe. And that's what this size should have been for. It should have been for a pack of 8. This one I spaced out a little bit better. What I like about the alligator is you could put a crayon in the mouth. If you got a kid that smokes, or I don't know, what do they do, vape nowadays? They can put their cigarette in the mouth while they're coloring. That way you don't get smoke in your eye. So this one's a little bit more versatile, but this one should have been more for an 8-pack. I did that one too big.
There's so many different animals on here, and they range anywhere from 30, actually like 20, all the way up to 50 bucks. So you can really let your imagination go with this one.
For this next one, you're just gonna need 2 little scrap 2x4s.
One of them's about 5 3/4, and the other one's close to 6 1/2. It's not real important that they're the exact sizes. They could be a little longer or shorter, just as long as they're roughly around these sizes. Now I'm gonna square these up and cut off the rounded edges using my table saw. We're gonna sketch like a truck body, a semi-truck on this smaller one. It's gonna be like this. I just sketched this out freehand. I like the way it came out. I'm gonna do pretty much the same thing. Now, I'm no drawologist or whatever you call those people that draw stuff. Oh, artologist. I'm no artologist, but if I can do it, you can do it. I'm gonna just trace this one. That came pretty close. They come across here. Boom. That's all you gotta do. And then on this back one, you wanna line them up, and you wanna take this one, you wanna come over this way. Just go a little bit higher than the back line you got. Come over this way. If you want inches, I'm going in about 2 inches.
Well, now you're just bragging.
And if that's not good, I'll cut more off. I'm gonna go in 2 inches, see how it works out. I'm gonna go down like that. So this is gonna be your truck, this is gonna be your trailer. It's gonna sit on the back like that. Okay, for this first cut, you kind of want it to be straight because it's gotta match up with the back part. So I'm gonna use my fence. Now I have a light on here, but when I use it, I think it kind of like
blinds the video. You can't really see. I can see better, but it just makes a white spot on the video, so I'm not gonna use it. It's pretty powerful light. Yeah, this thing comes with a really awesome fence. It's got the little bubble right here. It gives you 2 different measurements. You got 1 inch, but then you can offset it 1 inch because this part of the fence comes off and you can turn it to where you're just using the flat part. So it's really cool. Much better than the last one I had.
I'm not on YouTube to sell tools, but if you guys are looking for a bandsaw, this is a great pick in my opinion. And anything you buy through my affiliate links, I do get a little bit of money for to help out with the channel. So, sorry about this weird angle. I'm just trying to show off my wedding ring in case there's any chubby chasers out there. And also I wanted to show that I did the whole pattern the same as I did on the Dinosaur, except this time I'm going to use a Forstner bit to do cleaner holes, and I'm going to space them at 1/2 inch apart. This is not a pregnant woman whittling some wood. This is me sharpening my Forstner bits. If you get a little file, you can sharpen these pretty easily. There's a groove. You just let it sit on that flat part on this side, and then let it sit on the flat part on this side, and then you can almost see where your file can fit in here. So after a little sharpening, they cut like a dream. These drilled so nicely, you'd almost think I knew what I was doing. So the 1/2 inch spacing with the Forstner bit came out much better. Look at that. Like a pro. So I had a lot of space between here, and I could have cut this shorter, but I decided to add in some smokestacks. Let me know what you guys think. Should I have cut it shorter, or you think those smokestacks are cool? You can even put a couple more crayons in here. Okay, so now I need a hole for the trailer. I'm just gonna come up 3/4 of an inch from the back because that's half the distance of this, and it'll be like nice and square in there. And then I'll do the same thing with this side. Come in 3/4 of an inch and then center it in there. Okay, so I drilled my 2 holes. I got my 3/8 inch dowel and I cut it to size and I put it in there. The size of the dowel depends on how deep you drill your 2 holes. Mine's about 1 inch.
So smooth.
So now you're probably thinking, Jason, you handsome, chubby woodworking extraordinaire, what are you gonna do for wheels? Well, you got a couple options. You can get a round stock, like a round dowel. I think this is 1 inch. I got it from Walmart. You can cut some of those. They're a little small, but they would do the trick. Or you can use a hole saw. Another idea I had was I took this 1x4 and I drilled 2 holes right in the center of it with a hole saw. I think it was 2-inch hole saw I used. And then I cut it in half, and now you got, look, bam. And I thought about doing something like this, and then you'd have your wheels under there. But my wife said it was stupid, and then she told me put your pants back on and get in the house. But I don't know if she was talking about this or because I had my pants off. So there's another option you guys can do. But I'm not doing that one. I'm gonna cut some holes a little bit smaller using an 1 3/8 hole saw. You just gotta make sure you drill straight or your tire's gonna look crooked. This whole project would have been so much easier if I had a drill press, but you gotta do what you gotta do, right? Make it work. And then you gotta be careful popping these out of here, because you can really chip up the corners on them. Some of them don't wanna come out at all, but most of mine came out pretty easily. And then I cleaned them up on my belt sander. I need to get one of the little sanders for little projects like this. These are hard to hold on to with this big belt sander. I like the idea of using plywood as the tires because I thought the ply itself looked like tread. One issue with it though is when I was trying to sand and touch it up, I got a little chip off of there. Can you see it? So the last thing I gotta do is drill some holes in here for the axle dowel. No relation to axle rose. And then I'm just gonna run the dowel through here and then glue the wheels on there so they can spin. I want them to be able to spin. I want you to be able to pull it around. Instead of a wood dowel, you could just use a screw, and that would kind of be like the hubcap too, and it would look like this. Either way is good with you. Which way do you guys like better? Should I have just used a screw and been done with it, or do you like the idea of the dowel going all the way through? It's a little bit more complicated with the dowel. That's what I'm worried about, not drilling it straight, and then it could be like this, or it could be like this. So I'm gonna use this drill block to try to keep my holes straight. I'm gonna put a link to this drill block in the description on Amazon if you guys wanna pick one up. I think it's like $6 or something like that for one of these, and they really come in handy. So I did a test run, it came out super smooth, really nice. When I did it on the actual car, look at the blowout I had. Luckily the wheel's gonna cover it, but I need to get some drill bits to stop blowing stuff out. Someone told me in my comments of another video that if I run the drill in reverse first and then going forward, that won't happen. So I'm trying it right here, and it actually worked really good. I don't remember who said it, but like I've said before, there's a lot of good advice in my comments. If you guys are doing these projects, maybe just give it a glance through. Thank you, whoever wrote it. I would give you a shout out if I remembered who it was. I left the axle dowels a little long, and then that way, once I glue the wheels on, I can come back and cut them with the flush cut saw. Then before I assemble everything, I just wanted to give it a quick cleanup with my finger sander, you know, smooth out all the edges and stuff like that. Holy mackerel, that mask can barely contain my cheeks. It looks like somebody's trying to bake a loaf of sourdough in a dust mask. So then I just put everything together with some wood glue. I was being careful not to get any wood glue on the part of the axle that's going to go through the body for obvious reasons. And I think everything went together pretty well.
Quabam!
Man, I was too short of a 24 pack. If I would have just made this a little bit longer, I could have got 24 in there. So now we know what to do. Make it a little bit longer so you can get a full 24 pack. Similar ones are selling online starting at $45, but if you were to personalize this thing and put a name on the side, I'm sure you can get anywhere from $60 to $80. Thank you for watching. Love you guys. Now get to building.